Back at it again with the Moby Chapter 55 of the Monstrous Pictures of Whales. So I'm going to keep this video rather brief. There's some interesting examples given here of ways that people get the whale wrong. But let's take a look at the last paragraph because I think it just kind of summarizes the whole chapter, and I'd rather keep things efficient here. It says, "For all these reasons, then, any way you look at it, you must needs conclude that the great Leviathan is that one creature in the world which must remain unpainted to the last. True, one portrait may hit the mark much nearer than the other, but none can hit it with any very considerable degree of exactness. So there is no earthly way of finding out precisely what the whale really looks like, and the only mode in which you can derive even a tolerable idea of his living contour is by going whaling yourself. But by doing so, you run no small risk of being eternally stove and sunk by him. Wherefore it seems to me you had best not be too fastidious in your curiosity touching this Leviathan." So, insofar as the chapter is a list of different ways that these investigations of the whale have been in some way inaccurate, whales living on icebergs, which I think is a funny image, like walruses, whales that are derived from skeletons that aren't indicative of their true size, depictions of whales that are too big, that are too small, that do not go deep enough in the water, etc., etc. Once again, the whale is reinforced as an image of the unknowable, right? And ironically, I know that in the last 150 years since Melville wrote this text, scientific concerns like do whales live on icebergs are things that humans have gotten much better at knowing. But there are still certain questions that are represented by the whale as these things that are as difficult to categorize as whales were in 1851. Obviously, the conflict between Chapter 36 and Chapter 42 comes to mind, the question of theodicy, the question of meaning, etc., etc. These are things that are as difficult or more difficult and well captured in the image of trying to find knowledge about the whale in 1851. This obviously, I think, also puts this chapter into conversation with Chapter 32, Cetology, where a purely scientific, descriptive attitude towards the world is not only shown to be inaccurate, but certainly highlighted to be insufficient for answering deeper, more fundamental claims about the metaphysical, ethical, spiritual nature of the universe. So, you know that I'm going to be excited about this chapter because it fits into that big narrative which is explored here, which is what are the limits of human knowledge, what are the limits of human truth claims, what can we know for sure, and what is our reaction if we are living in a world of doubt. Okay. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in Chapter 56.